Hello fellow sailors, is this what your Dodger windscreen looks like by now? This one actually looks better in the video than it does in real life. But I mean, Dodgers are wonderful to have when it's rainy or windy and waves are breaking over your bow, but if you can't see out the damn windshield, it makes it kind of a pain in the ass. And yes, you can take it and get it remade or get a new plastic window put in the front, but I find even new Dodgers, the visibility is not all that great. So here's an alternative that I find works quite well. Okay, this is going to be damn hard to see because it's clear, but what we have here is a nice sheet of plexiglass, and you can see that it's got a bend in the top here to go over the top of the Dodger, and then the sides have been cut to fit into the shape there, and then the bottom has been modified with little bent pieces to fit in the slot along the bottom. And along the side edges I've put stick-on Velcro. And on the actual Dodger itself I've obviously flipped the windshield up. Where the zipper is, along here, if you flip this over, I've sewn in another piece of Velcro, and you do have to sew it in. Even though it's sticky Velcro, it will not stay stuck. It stays stuck to the windshield, but not to the fabric, so you gotta put some stitches in it. So Velcro on either side, Velcro over there too, and the top part just flops over there, and I tie it in the back. And then the other part, I've got a little channel here between the slider here and the cabin top that's like 1/4 of an inch thick, so I can stick bits of the windshield under there to hold it. So I've got a piece that I've bent down to go under. I've got a piece in the middle that I've bent up to go over, and another piece that goes under, and then the whole thing just slides forward and pretty much locks in place. And then along the sides you just stick the Velcro to the Velcro, and do same for the other side. So it's basically locked in place there. The sides are Velcroed in, and I have the bend over here with strings attached, and then I have a string from the windshield, and I just pull them both back and wrap it around the Dodger support line. It goes down there, and then I just tie them off. So when you're finished installing, the front end is sort of locked down into the little slots that the boat handily provides. The sides are Velcroed up, the top is flopped over and then tied back here. So you end up with a crystal clear view of the world. Of course, you still have the crappy side curtains, but out in front, which is what counts, it's clear as glass, and obviously it won't stand up to 30-foot waves on the perfect storm, but for rain and wind and waves over the small waves over the bow, it does real well. Now you're going to ask, what do you use to make this? You can use plexiglass or Lexan. The Lexan is tougher, but the plexiglass is less prone to scratching. On the other hand, it is easier to crack, so you gotta sort of choose your evils. I went with plexiglass because I'm trying not to get it scratched up. For how to put the bend across the top here, once you figure out where you want your bend, I would get a long piece of wood, a board, and put it along where you want to bend it, and put it on the windshield part because you want to protect the windshield part from the heat. And then get a propane torch and just run it back and forth right along where you want to bend it till it softens up, and then just bend the thing to the angle that you need. And similarly for the little tabs, you need to cut some shapes out, and then again use the torch to soften them up and get them in the shape that you need, that they will fit. As to how do you cut the edges and shapes and everything, technically you can do it with one of those sharp knives that score it and then you crack it, but since the plexiglass is easy to crack and continue cracking, I find a angle grinder with a cutting disc works the best by far. You can get an angle grinder for cheap at Harbor Freight. Cutting discs are also cheap. Just be careful with it. It's got a lot of torque and it'll cut through just about anything. So mind your fingers and eyes and all those things. But if you cut it with the cutting disc, and you can also kind of smooth out the edges after you've cut it with some sandpaper, and then if you take your torch and just run it up and down the edge real quickly, it'll really kind of clear out and smooth out the plexiglass. So give it a try if you actually want to be able to see out the front of your boat. It's a wonderful thing.